Hey guys, it's Lee with Pro Equine Grooms cleaning grooming tools today. I tend to do this about every 8 to 10 days just to be sure that they stay nice and clean and don't end up smearing any manure residue or dirt or dust around. In the winter I might do this a little bit more frequently because sometimes the winter coats tend to hold a little bit more dust and debris, and I'm also not bathing as often. So maybe, once every 5 to 7 days in the winter or as needed. I typically will use either just a really nice mild horse shampoo. I also like to use Nolvasan. This is a nice disinfectant. It's great for wounds as well. It is antibacterial and antiviral, so if you've got something questionable going around the barn, maybe skin to skin, you could use this. It's nice because it is available at most feed stores and also handy to have for your first aid kit. Today I just use a couple of drops of dishwashing detergent, and instead of using a separate bucket, I just go ahead and put all of my brushes and stuff into my container with a couple of drops of whatever cleaner you're using today, and then I just kind of let things soak. I do also, after they've been soaking for a few minutes, I will get the brushes and kind of work the soap suds in there, but I want to be really, really careful, especially with a wooden handled brush like this one, that I don't agitate things too much, or otherwise these little plugs of bristles can start to come out of the wood. Different story with these sturdier and not natural type brushes. These are great to have not only for your horse but for everything around the barn, and they stand up a little bit better in water. For grooming gloves, it's super easy to just kind of drop them in, let them soak, and then you're good to go. I'll typically let things soak in the tub for about 10 minutes or so. I'll go off, do a couple other barn chores, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to rinse each item individually. This is to make sure that I can get all of the suds out and give everything a nice, clean, fresh rinse. Now, before I lay everything out to dry, I'm going to give everything a nice brisk shake to get all the water out. And because of the weather today and the time of day, I'm drying these inside on a little towel. Ideally, I would put them outside, maybe on some sort of rack where they could be allowed to have air circulation from the top and the bottom, kind of like one of those cooling racks if you are into baking. I do like to set everything on its side. If you set one of these wooden brushes especially upside down to dry, the water will pool in here and you will have some plugs that will eventually come out. So that's why I like to put things on the side or upside down if possible. And then for these grooming gloves, I'm simply going to connect them together and throw them on the fence to dry.